Oh buddy, Andy here again. Well, it's been a couple of months since I actually made a video, and it's not a conscious decision, just one of those things that seems to have happened. But here we are on the first day of 2013, or is it 2013? You know, do we ever decide about 2012 or 2012 in the end? This isn't a New Year's resolution because I don't make New Year's resolutions. I'm not going to sort of suddenly start making loads of videos. The reason why I haven't may well become apparent. But what I thought I'd do actually, because I suddenly realised that last year, 2012, was actually a fairly momentous year. Not quite as eventful as maybe 2010 was, when I lost my job, lost my father, lost my mother-in-law, and lots of other things happened as well. But better in other ways as well. And I was so I've got this little notebook, and a little tip actually from a book that I read. I bought this a while ago, and I carry it around with me just about everywhere, and I'm always scribbling things in it, and I've got things written down all over the place, you know, and great things to write ideas down, thoughts, you know, feelings, whatever it might be, quotations, things that people say, things that, you know, to remind you, to prod you to do something. But I scribbled down. I was actually sitting in the pub waiting for a band to play a while ago, and I was sitting, and I thought, I know what I do. I was just suddenly thinking that all the things that happened to me last year, and they seem to go pretty well month by month. Every month there seemed to be something going on somewhere along the line. I know other people that, you know, have their own sort of things, but for me it seemed to be a pretty good year. I mean, Britain had a pretty good year all round, in Olympics and Paralympics and all that sort of stuff as well. Pretty good feel-good factor about the country or the nation, whatever, apart from the bloody weather, which was absolutely abysmal. You know, we started off the year in a drought situation, and then from April onwards it's hardly stopped raining, and here we are, the first day of 2013, and it's sunny. Hopefully that's you know, a foreteller of the future for this particular year. We'll have a better year weather-wise. If that's the case, at least that's behind us. But I thought I'd go through month by month. January, the 1st of January, I actually published an ebook. I've forgotten all about that until I wrote this sort of thing down. That's another good thing about this. It makes you think, it makes you sort of go back and revisit things, think, I've forgotten all about that. Yes, on the 1st of January 2012, I printed off, posted, uploaded, whatever it was, published an ebook of all my blog posts. It was called Musings, and if I find the link, I'll put it down below, because it hasn't sold many copies, but I never thought it would. But it was just one of those things, and I even made a video about it, so maybe I'll stick a link to that down there as well, instead of going over it all over again. But it's one of those things that I haven't done very much of writing, well, not for the blog anyway. I haven't made too many videos, not so, because of all the other things that have been going on. You know, life moves on, and so February, well no, actually March, go back to January, because in January I was still managing a local band, but I decided against doing that, not because of any sort of fallout between myself and the band. We're still good friends and all that, and I still wish them well, but so many things were starting to happen, so many things were all coming together at the same time. I just felt that I needed to stop doing that for various reasons, partly because of my age. I felt that they needed someone younger, something I said to them when they first asked me to be the manager in the first place, as it happens. And I just thought, nope, now's the time to do it. You know, probably wasn't a good time for them maybe, but you know, if you need to do something, sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and say, right, that's it, it's got to stop now before other things go too far and everybody gets all confused and it gets a bit messy, you know. So that was January. February, no, quiet month, according here, nothing here at all. March. In March, I actually went to Spain for 2 weeks in like a free holiday with my mate Clive. You may well have seen the videos from that, and again I'll probably put a link to the playlist of videos I made. You know, we made a video a day. That wasn't the plan. The plan was to go over there and film some bits of video, to make a video to try and sell the property or holidays to that particular property that we stayed in for the people that own the property, Claire and Ainsley. Had a great time over there. Great to go out there and see the place out of season, because I'd only ever been to that particular area, Orgiva, in the Alpujarras area of southern Spain, Andalusia. I'd only ever been there in August before, so going in March was a completely different thing, and very, very enjoyable it was. I had a great time out there, something completely different. And as I said, if you watch the videos with mate Clive, we had a lot of fun as well. So, and all the things that came out of that, you know, the sort of thoughts about what we could do, and I thought about going down that route of trying to sort of sell videos, because it was very well received by Claire and Ainsley themselves, but also by the people who've watched it, etc. I'm not sure they've sold the house yet, but I won't put that down to me. April. Now, after I came back from Spain, we started getting all these street art and graffiti, well, not graffiti, street art really. The scrabbleman phenomenon suddenly hit Hastings and St Leonard's area. Yes, we've had, we've got a Banksy, we've got a couple of benign bits of street art, and we've got the Stewie stencils roundabout as well, and lots of other bits, and we've got moths, on walls and things like that. Quite a lot of street art. Graffiti, call it whatever you want, I call it art. But then we started getting these other quirky things, these pieces made up of Scrabble letters, putting out sort of weird little statements or sayings, or even quoting lyrics from songs, a couple of them as well. Well, a few of us locally, the Twitter community, most of us who didn't know each other at the time, a lot of us do know each other now, and we've met up for various reasons. We're all trying to figure out what was going on. I started going out taking lots of photos, and people were posting them on websites, as the other people were doing as well, and it got a bit going, and it went going. I ended up doing a show, or helping out on the breakfast show on BBC Radio Sussex, and doing like a little walking tour, which evolved during the day. The idea was to go down there, meet the reporter, and just sort of do a quick 10-minute bit on the radio about live on the breakfast show, and then that'll be it. But it went on, and we ended up doing the rest of the show intermittently throughout, and great fun that was. Sitting down having a cup of coffee with someone, get a phone call, local BBC TV station want to do basically exactly the same thing. So I ended up doing with one of the Paul, one of the local bloggers, and also Twitter people as well, who was also interested in street art, etc., and the Scrabbleman thing. And so that went on, and we met up and we did a TV thing. Very interesting. Great fun. That's the good thing about this thing. It's all fun. May, obviously, was Hastings Rock. And we were in a different place this year, the King's Head up there in Orr. So a different feel to the station, a different feel all round to the station, actually. And I think a lot of people thought it was the best broadcast that there's ever been. I know some people might be biased towards that because they're newer, around or something. But it did feel good. It felt a lot more relaxed. Not going to go into the politics or anything like that of why particularly, but in a new place we were made very welcome by Kate and Steve, the manager and the landlord or landlady, and so that went very well. The whole broadcast went pretty well. Yes, we had some issues, but you always have issues, especially with a new place. Hopefully this year will be even better because we'll be settled in a bit more. So that was that. June, I've got nothing for June. God, what happened in June? I don't know. July, well, obviously we had the Olympics. And yes, I talk about it as a nationwide thing, but the Olympic torch came through Hastings and St Leonard's as well. So that was pretty special. Yeah, I was a bit cynical about the Olympics, I'll be perfectly honest about it beforehand, but went down to watch the torch relay, did a video, maybe I'll find a link to that down there as well. Very, very good. And I knew a couple of people who actually did some of the running. I was nominated by somebody actually locally, but didn't get through the final selection process, and I'm quite happy with that because the people who did it certainly deserved to be there and better qualified than I was as well. And then at the end of July and into August we had another radio station called Carnival FM, which I got involved with at the sort of planning stages as well, and I ended up doing DJing on there as well, but part of the little committee that we had as well. Something, once again, a charity broadcast throughout the Old Town Carnival Week, and it was just for this sort of fairly local area, a bit of a community station, not a rock station, but we had rock music on there, and I had a little bit of input into that as well. But also a good thing that came from that, because I did the local music show every evening for 5 evenings, and started having some live sessions. I've never been able to do that before because of the way the station was set up, and because we had some students helping. Reese, a young guy who was helping out doing sound, and also had Sam who was doing photography and video and that sort of thing. So it enabled me to get people in, and we had a big enough room to get a few people in, do like an unplugged sessions, and I always wanted to do that, never been able to. We did that, it seemed to go down very well. I think we did 2 sessions for most of the days, a bit ambitious, but it worked thanks to everybody, Will also, who helped out as well. So that was good fun, hoping that's going to be coming back again this year, and that will hopefully be like an ongoing thing every year, should we say. August, that was Carnival then, all the sort of stuff that goes on in Hastings as well. September, nothing much there as well. But then in October, I started up with a friend of mine, Rich, a thing called Peerless Music that I've spoken about. And once again, I'll put a link down to it down there. This is an idea that I've had for a couple of years now. All about sort of local music. I've been playing local music on the radio for sort of 10 years intermittently, like I was just saying about Carnival FM, and I've grown to love it and to know that the stuff that I'm hearing, that I'm seeing, the musicians, etc., are as good as you're going to see anywhere in the world on the TV, listen to on the radio. And it's born of frustration in a way to try and try and push these people out there. And I had this idea, spoke to a few people, like-minded people, sat down over a coffee with Rich, and it clicked. Although he's considerably younger than me, we're coming at this from slightly different angles, but straight down the middle if we want exactly the same sort of thing. So it's working, and that's taken up a lot of time since. Quite happily, it's ongoing. That's something that we'll certainly be moving on to in 2013. We're not sure. We had lots of ideas. We've still got lots of ideas, and we're never quite sure exactly how it's going to go. We're letting it sort of, go with the flow a little bit. Things are happening, working with different bands and things like that. So some of the things that we thought we might do at the beginning, we might not do now because other things have come along. We shall see. It's a work in progress, but it's been good fun, and we're both very enthusiastic and texted each other today about, we're looking forward to this year. This could be something quite good. There's lots of things sort of building, and the momentum in Hastings is building with the pier being rebuilt hopefully in the next couple of years. New nightclub opening, the Crypt as it was is reopening. We've got new venues in the town. There's something building, there's something happening all around local music, and so that's maybe we've hit this at the right time, or maybe we're part of the process. I don't know. So that's ongoing. So that's been going. In November, tied up with that in a way, some people that I know through the university, that I got to know through the Hastings Rock or Carnival FM. One of the guys there, Joffy, is making a documentary as part of his end of year, his third year in media and film and whatever. I can never remember the title of his particular course, but he has to make a couple of documentaries to submit for part of his work, should we say. And I persuaded him to make a documentary about Peerless Music and about the start of that. So we've done some filming for that in November, involved a local band in that. All seemed to fall into place. Things haven't gone quite as to plan, but Joffrey at the moment has got hours and hours worth of footage which he's got to edit down to a maximum of 20 minutes. Good luck, mate. I know I haven't seen some of the footage and sort of looked at it myself. There's some good stuff in there. It'll be very interesting to see how that comes out. Looking forward to seeing that, and that will be sometime this month. Coincides with other things that are happening, and hopefully I should be able to put links to that so other people can see exactly what's in there as well. So that was once again something new. Lots of new things happening, lots of new things that I've been doing, and that's one of the beauties of it. And then one of the bands have been involved with a band called Kid Capici, a young local band who myself and Rich have been doing some bits and pieces with, but they were involved with the filming of that as well, because it's sort of blended in. We were helping them a little bit, and trying to push them a little bit, give them some support and encouragement, and being filmed for that as well. Went up to London to Camden Barfly and filmed a gig, and all this sort of stuff, and I'm doing some other stuff with them in the very near future. And then come to December, and then things changed again. I've got a job, what's something I've been thinking about and looking at doing for a while. I've done other part-time things, and I'm still involved to an extent with that, although I stepped back from some of the things that I was doing before. But this come along, a proper sort of full-time, part-time, permanent a part-time job, should we say, to sort of three days a week, a few hours a day here and there, and it's quite good because it obviously gives you some money, makes me feel a little better. Obviously helps with the family life and finances and that type of thing as well. And I'm actually thoroughly enjoying it. It's something different, meeting new people. That's always one of those things. You forget, I haven't been in the workplace as such regularly for a couple of years now, and that is always one of those things that you miss about. It's not the job so much itself, it's some of the people, not necessarily all of them, but you certainly miss some of the people, and that whole camaraderie and all that type of thing, the mickey taking and all that type of thing, and you get to know new people. I've done it through the radio. That's one of the beauties about helping out with the radio. Carnival FM this year, met some new people, always good, and now fingers and networking goes out into different things as well, so there's always doing new things introduces you to new people, and ultimately to other possibilities as well. And that's the same with the peerless music thing, and meeting new people, or being reacquainted with other people, or meeting people for the first time that you've known and corresponded with for a long time. And there's a couple that I can think of that's happened, and that's leading on to other things as well. So lots of things happening. A pretty momentous year, I think. A good year, I think. Generally, a pretty good year. I'm pretty pleased with it, and I'm certainly looking forward to 2013 and where we are now, because I can see some good things happening. Things are settled down. You know, I know obviously now that's blown it. Something's going to blow up and something's going to go wrong, and the shit will hit the fan, as they say. But hopefully not. Hopefully some of the ideas that myself and Rich about the Fearless Music Project and some of the other things, the other irons in the fire, might lead to something else, and who knows, you know. Talking to someone else, you know, sometimes you have to think big. Yeah, certainly thinking big, but maybe not expecting the things to be big. But sometimes you have to plan for these, because sometimes these things can turn on a sixpence, as they say. Something can happen literally overnight, and you have to be a bit prepared for it, sort of plan for it a little bit, especially when you're involved with bands and music. I think you never know what's around the next corner. You know, that next gig that you go to with these guys, something may well kick off, and in a nice way, and you never know what's going to happen. So hopefully something exciting will come from that. I'm confident that hopefully something will, and this year will be a good one. I hope it is for you. As I said, I don't make resolutions. I've got ideas, but I'll keep them to myself and just hope and plan, because sometimes resolutions, people write them down and forget about them, or they have no intention of doing these things as well. If you want to make a resolution, by all means, yes, of course I aim to read more and exercise more and eat less and all those type of things as well, but they're pretty much givens, aren't they? So anyway, I've talked for far too long, so I don't make a video for 2 months and then I talk for nearly 20 minutes. There you go, making up for lost time. Hopefully I shall see you again over the next year, month, who knows. But as I said, busy doing other things, other priorities take precedence or whatever, so I don't write as much, although I do it on the Peerless Music site. I certainly write things on there because I've built and curate the website for that as well. So lots of other things going on, but that's the best way, isn't it? It's always good to be busy. It's better than the alternatives. I hope 2012 was a good one for you, and I hope 2013 is a good one for you as well. Hopefully it will be for me after all that. We'll see at the end of the year, won't we? Anyway, thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Probably, hopefully, maybe. Goodbye.